Your mom's
Hello
mom.
and welcome everybody to All the Rage Sports. With me, as always, is my panel of analysts, or anal of panelists, Mr.
Well,
Jace Junk.
drop the S. It's just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
It's singular. There's no plural.
there's no analysts. It's just
And
anal.
there's
It's
not
just an
two.
anal.
Unless you're on acid, there's not two of me. It's just me.
So sorry about last week, everybody that is out there listening. We had an issue with my pregnant wife having kidney stones, so I was in the hospital. So I do apologize for not being here, but I actually had a pretty good excuse.
Yeah, and I will credit your dedication because I was obviously not worried about going at all, and you're like driving to the hospital like I'm so sorry, and I'm like you got bigger fish to fry, bro. Like don't worry about.
Thought about busting out my laptop in the hospital room when I found out like she wasn't going into labor, and
She
I was
would have
like,
gotten out of the bed and killed you.
absolutely, because I had my laptop with me just in case like I needed to do any work while I was up there, and I was like, should I? I mean, I
No, I
could.
feel like that's
No,
not
okay,
the
probably not a good
place.
idea.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna do like I talked to you. I was thinking about doing like a quick 10-minute thing, and Bria was talking about jumping on, but I was just like, fuck it, we'll just wait
yeah,
until next week.
it's all good. Well, so last week we did get picks in. I didn't get them posted, but we did communicate them and get them on file. So we will actually have a good, solid overall. We obviously won't have any breakdowns from week 7, um, but we will go through all of week 8. The Thursday night game between the Packers and the Niners is currently going on right now. Packers are up 7-0. But we're gonna bust out all the big stuff. Talk about the Patriots and how horrible they've been. The Titans losing to the Bengals. The Colts dominating over the Lions. Packers losing a squeaker to the Vikings. The Dolphins getting to his first win. Cowboys and how horrible they've been. The Steelers still staying undefeated. Raiders taking down the Browns. Bucks keeping their streak alive, and then of course the Chargers being the best worst team in the NFL. I feel like they've hired Dan Quinn as their coach all of a sudden.
What I saw a stat, I forget what it was the other day. It was a ridiculous amount of games since like 2016. They've lost by like one score or less.
And just this year, they have blown double-digit leads in the last 6 games. There's one game in the last 6 games they've won, and they've all had double-digit leads at one point in the game. Their offense is ridiculous, and then all of a sudden they just can't finish, much like a Dan Quinn team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and we do have the Masters coming up soon. So we're
Yeah,
gonna get.
well, it's the Houston Open this week. It's actually pretty cool because they're playing. It's only the second. I don't know. I think it's Torrey Pines, but this is the second course on tour that it's a municipal, like public course that me and you could
Nice.
show up and just walk in and get a tee time.
That's
So
badass.
they're playing at this place, I believe Memorial Park in Houston. But DJ's back off the fucking COVID list. Kepka's got his knee rested, and a lot of the big guys are back out, getting their form and getting ready for obviously next week. The week everybody has been waiting for since we got it taken away from us in August, or not August, sorry, April. It's finally coming. You're gonna hear Jim Nantz come on your TV with that silky smooth voice and go, "Hello, friends. Welcome back to Augusta." And it's going to be with the fall like colors and everything. Like in addition to like the landscape is going to be beautiful. We have no idea how this fucking course is going to play. It's going to be so different from the spring. It's going to be carnage, and I'm so ready for it.
Yeah, that is super awesome, exciting. I wish I could be on the golf course right now. Literally,
super awesome, exciting.
What did I see? So the weather like Saturday said it was 70, and I'm like, babe, I'm gonna be golfing Saturday. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, I will find a golf course that's still open. It's 70 degrees in November.
100 stations, $20 right now. I'm just saying.
All right, we'll talk after the show. All right, so we're gonna have all that and more coming for you on All the Rage Sports.
I would just like a disclaimer right now. I didn't tell you that, so when Chelsea hears the golf club's leaving at like 8 in the morning
They're
Saturday.
constantly in my trunk. Don't worry. They haven't left there yet. Until there's permanent snow on the ground, they will not leave my trunk.
You can't leave them out there in the cold, though. You got to bring them in.
I did clean them off recently. You're right. I should probably warm the puppies up. Poor guys.
Yeah. Good Lord.
All right, so let's just dig into it right now. Week 8. We're not going to do any kind of week 7 breakdowns. It's just not worth it to go back that far at this point. So I do apologize for everyone.
Really, I'm just looking through everything. There really wasn't anything that shocking. Other than the Eagles and Giants game was an absolute thriller. His Thursday night game.
It really was.
I hate to say it, but I was really impressed by your Steelers beating Titans.
Yeah, that was nice. That was an awesome game.
They looked really good, but I don't know if the Titans are all that.
Yeah, this week kind of proved it. Let's just jump right into that game, actually. Yeah. So the Titans get taken down by another AFC North team. Not only that, they get taken down by the only losing record AFC North team in the Bengals, 31-20. Gio Bernard, coming in for the injured Joe Mixon, had 2 scrimmage touchdowns. I believe 1 reception, 1 rushing.
Yes.
Actually looked really good. Joe Burrow is starting to get meshed in this offense, and he's starting to show that, they can actually play. They're not a pushover team by any means. They've been in every game they've played this year. So I like this Bengals team compared to other Bengals teams of the past. The felony ones, the ones that
Pac-Man and Perfect and all them.
Perfect and all them fun guys.
Great, nice people, family fun. Burrow is just a guy that you've seen it. Like, if you've seen anything about his story from high school to like going to Ohio State, not getting a shot, and then transferring to LSU. Everything. The guy is he's a fighter, and he's one of those guys that he's impressive on the field, but what impresses me the most is he makes mistakes and stuff like that, but you can sense the guy just has a fucking will. He just wants more than anything to win. Like, he just is an absolute diehard competitor, and he's going to go out there every game and lay it all on the fucking field, whether he has better, I would say, like not pocket presence, but I would say technique overall, but I almost compare him. He doesn't take as many risks, but he almost reminds me of a young Brett Favre almost. Like he makes like
that gunslinger type of mentality, put it all on the line every game kind of thing.
Yeah, Favre's not a good good comparison for him, but just sort of
in play style wise, no, but like attitude, yes. Like demeanor, mentality, yes. Absolutely not play style. Favre was a very backyard football-y kind of the way he threw the ball.
Can we just talk about? I miss watching him throw the fucking football.
Yeah, it was the weirdest fucking throw ever.
Well, it was such a roller coaster. You just never knew what the fuck you were going to get. It was either going to be the most spectacular bomb you've ever seen in your life, or he was throwing into 4 people and it wasn't even fucking close. But by God, it was fucking exciting no matter what.
Yep. But I really like that. I'm starting to like this Bengals team. The defense is slowly coming on. He's building a little chemistry with some of those offensive players. I don't know if this may rekindle AJ Green's career over there.
Well, I mean, it's
maybe. It hasn't really been that dynamic. It's mainly been more of the Tyler Boyd show. But it may have saved AJ.
Well, I mean, he's looking okay, but I just feel like that's more. Excuse me. I feel like Burrow's clicking a little bit more with his younger guys. I feel like just because I hate to use an analogy like it, but old dog, new tricks, and AJ Green, was in time and in tune with Andy Dalton for how many years? Like, he had one quarterback.
That was it.
And that's the scary thing is they have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, like Auden Tate or however the hell you say it. whatever 1 or 2 years ago was actually like a pretty decent wide receiver for them.
Yeah.
Like he's not somebody to be slept on as a fourth option. As fucking AJ Green, if him and Burrow get like the timing down, and Burrow looks to him because the first couple of games you watched, he was basically like as soon as he came out of this, like he was like hike, and then he was looking at AJ Green, like just trying to feed him constantly.
Yeah.
And now that they're spreading the ball out a little bit more, I feel like the chemistry will come, but they just gotta. It's gonna take some time, I guess.
I just hope the Bengals can like. AJ Green's biggest attribute was like Des Bryant, winning the one-on-one battles, throwing the ball up and letting them go get it type of thing. And AJ needs to evolve his game, but I think that he's better suited than most, especially with what the situation is at quarterback with him. He has a good opportunity to do so. So I wish him the best, but I think it's funny that 2 weeks ago, this Titans team 5-0, and everybody's like, Steelers can't beat them. Nobody's going to be able to beat this. Derrick Henry is MVP, and then boom, 2 losses in a row. Boom, boom.
Well, but they're not trash. Like we know they're going to bounce back.
No, they're not. But ever since, like, Tannehill has not played well over the last few weeks, and Tannehill was playing lights out for the first 5 games of their season.
It's just one of those things. He'll pull it together. I feel like, not to blame it on it or anything, but with all the fuck was that? Oh, your goddamn zipper. Okay, Christ. But no, I just feel like losing a little. I hate you so much. Losing a little bit of time with everything they did with the COVID and shit, and having to do virtual meetings. I feel like maybe they're just still a little bit out of sync, but they'll right the ship. They'll pull it together. Like I said, we always talk about it's fucking Mike Vrabel. And folks, Jesse is currently checking on the dogs or his wife. Are we back?
I heard her yelling "boo, boo, boo," and I'm like, "Shit, is he having a seizure?" There's nothing that good that goes on in my house. It's just constant stress.
No, never. It's just no wonder you're going as bald as you are.
Yeah, that's why this is happening right here. You should see the amount of gray up in this bad boy.
I know. And you, the kids aren't even here yet. Yippee for you! All right, let's keep it going.
It's going to turn this gray too. All right, so let's move on from the Bengals, Titans, Falcons, Panthers. Falcons, since they got rid of Dan Quinn, they have looked tremendously better. But is this too late? Too little, too late kind of thing with them. I mean, they're 2-6 right now. Yeah, they beat a division rival. But is there really anywhere do you honestly see this team bouncing back that heavily?
Only in a way to hurt their draft stock. I mean, they're not. I mean, what are
2-6?
2-6. Okay. For fun, we'll look at their upcoming schedule. So, Broncos next week, not unfathomable. Where else are they? What do we got? Too many damn birds on this thing. I feel like they might have a bye week next week because I'm not seeing them. Yes, they are on the bye next week. And then we go. Where are they at? Saints in New Orleans. Don't have the utmost confidence on them. So that's, we'll say for funsies, that's 3-7 or whatever.
Yeah.
And next game, Raiders in Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't see this team. I honestly think it'll be a miracle if they make it to 8-8.
I mean, and good for them, but they're another team that I feel like is not terrible, and I kind of feel bad for Dan Quinn. I do, but I don't. But because he took him to a Super Bowl, he had this team rallying around him. I don't know what the fuck was going on. They couldn't put it together.
Oh my God, no!
Late in games, but what a disaster!
Maybe 4 wins. So they have the Broncos, which totally could win. So you're 3-6. You're looking at the Saints, Raiders, Saints, Chargers, Bucks, Chiefs, Bucks. I'm sorry, you're not winning either of those games against the Bucks. You're not winning against the Chiefs. You're not winning against the Saints. You're probably not winning against the Raiders or the Chargers. This team may be a 3-13 team.
Yeah. The only, I hate to say it, but I will say it, the only team, the Chargers, they'll probably give trouble, and the Raiders only just because the Raiders have trouble traveling, but Carr's actually looked a lot better with that this year. So other than,
I
I guess,
would not be surprised because any
the
kind
New
of
England game.
interdivision play, there's always that chance. You can always beat a division team, no matter how good they are. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they squeak one game against the Saints or one game against the Bucks, but I don't see both. So I'm saying this team is probably at best
They might beat the
5-11.
Saints. They won't beat the Bucks.
I don't think they will. No, I could see them beating the Chargers. The Chargers are like I said in the prequel or the opening there. They're the best worst team in the NFL.
Jesus Christ! I mean, that's the Spider-Man meme. Looking at each other, it's like, who's going to get up by 40 and blow it with 2 minutes left in the fourth somehow?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You will see the biggest comeback in the history of sports probably in that game by one of those teams.
Absolutely.
Or to be 9-5.
We really, you know what? We should do this though. We should kind of do a little prediction on the on each team here. So we looked at the Falcons. I'm saying best case scenario 5-11. What are you thinking with them?
I tend to agree with you. They'll, like I said, Chargers game, I could see them being in the mix. Raiders maybe. Other than that, maybe sneak out a game against the Saints. So out of that pile, I would say realistically 1 or 2 more wins. So yeah, 5-11.
All right, cool. Let's look at the Panthers then, who are currently 3-5. The rest of their schedule goes as follows: Chiefs, Bucks, Lions, Vikings, bye week, Broncos, Packers, Washington, Saints. So this Panthers team, I don't think they're going to beat the Saints. Don't think they're going to beat the Packers. They could probably beat the Lions. Don't think you're beating the Bucks or the Chiefs. So let's just do it at 1, 2, 3, 4 more wins, 7-9. That's the way I'm looking at them.
With everything you gave me there, they're not a bad team. They're they're a little bit young. They're a little bit fresh.
They might squeak out one of these, divisional games because it looks like earlier.
They'll give both the Saints games. Have they played the Saints yet, or do they just have them left one more time?
They have played the Bucks once and lost. They have played the Falcons and won. They've played the Saints and lost, and the Falcons again and lost.
Okay.
So they have one more Saints, one more Bucks game.
I feel like they'll be in the Saints game. I feel like the Bucks game. The Bucks, especially now that they'll have fucking AB back, they'll be rolling. So, yeah, maybe the Vikings game and maybe the Broncos game. So,
loss.
Yeah.
I say 2 losses. Lions, Vikings, they can win. Broncos, they can win.
And they'll probably the Lions game. I forgot about that one.
Not going to beat the Packers. Probably beat the Washington football team. I'm saying 7-9.
And I'm disgusted, but I'm agreeing with you. That's what I felt like.
All right, where was I next? I was back on the scores. Let's go. All right, Patriots and the Bills. Patriots have the worst start in the history of the Patriots right now at 2-5. The Bills are now the owners of this division. I'm calling it already halfway through the season. Sorry, but not sorry. They are the owners here.
Literally no one is sorry to see that other than Patriots.
No one. Not a singular person.
That is one thing that, we can't count votes and, we can't agree on a president apparently, but we can all agree on that we're all happy.
We all
that
hate the Patriots.
The fucking Patriots no longer rule the AFC East. Yeah, I
it's
had a
so good.
There.
So good.
So beautiful.
So let's look at the Bills here, and their upcoming schedule actually looks kind of tough. So we got the Seahawks, then the Cardinals, then a bye week. Honestly, I think they're going to go 1-1 in that stretch.
Well, I mean, the Cardinals did just beat the Seahawks, so that's
true.
two very,
That is
very
true.
tough teams back to back.
Yeah, and that leading up to their bye, then they come out of the bye and have the Chargers, Niners, Steelers, Broncos, Patriots, Dolphins.
I have that Bills Steelers game scheduled because that is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
5. So I'm honestly thinking that this team's going to finish the record with a. I'm going to say they're going to win one of those next 2 games, the Seahawks or the Cardinals. I think it's going to be an 11-5 team winning the division.
That 2 games, that next stretch, I don't know. That's one I could easily. They could be 2-0. They could very much be 0-2 going into their bye.
Yep.
With everything they have left, yeah, it's not unfeasible. They'll dice the fucking Chargers up to pieces.
Chargers, the Niners have so many people gone. Like that team is in 100% rebuild.
They're decimated. Good night.
That game with the Steelers is going to be great. I think the Steelers defense is better suited to stop the Bills than the Bills defense is suited to stop the Steelers.
Doesn't matter. That is not going to be a defensive game. That's why I'm going to love every second of it.
Yeah,
it's going to be Josh Allen going, here's what I can do, and Ben going, oh yeah, and just oh yeah. And they're just gonna be fucking trying to just big dick pissing contest, one up each other the entire time. Because
that might be the game this year that the fucking Ben has to finally throw for 500 yards like he's done so many times.
I would say that's probably the one where you're going to have to see it because, Josh Allen's going to come out there. Not that Ben was ever quite that mobile, but, I mean, kind of like the bigger arm, like the bigger stature, and Ben's going to be like, you know what? This young motherfucker. Like, you know what? I still got something in the tank for this son of a bitch. Let's go.
The Broncos game, I see them winning that. I see them sweeping the Patriots, and I see them beating the Dolphins. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6 more wins. They're currently at, I believe it's 5-2, 5-3.
That's an excellent question.
I'm Ron Burgundy. No, 6-2.
Yeah.
So I see them at least 5 more wins. Definitely see them at the 11-5. It's either gonna be 12-4 or 11-5 is what I'm looking at right now. I'm guessing 11-5.
Just to disagree with you once, I'll go 12-4. Why not?
I can dig it. Patriots, on the other hand,
we may as well not even talk about that.
It's really okay. It's just, I just want to talk about how many games they're going to lose because it's going to be great. It's like actually say that out loud and feel it in my bones.
I felt like showing mercy, and then the mental scar in my head of Tom Brady fumbling that ball and then it being called an incomplete pass just replayed. And now I'm kind of actually enjoying it.
Yep. So they play the Jets this week. Dear God, if the Jets get their first win against the Patriots, Belichick may hang himself in the locker room.
He will literally fire everybody. It'll just be him and his son on the sidelines next week. There'll be no coaches. It's just those two. Just them.
Then they play the Ravens. They ain't winning that. The Texans, honestly, I don't even know that they could win that. Cardinals, I don't think they win that. They might be able to beat the Chargers. The Rams, I don't think they're winning there. Dolphins, Bills, Jets again. I think they could sweep the Jets, but I don't even know if they could beat the Dolphins right now. Honestly, I'm seeing this as maybe a 5-win team at best. That's pushing it.
5 wins, 4 wins somewhere. Yeah, they're not. It's
Cam Newton showed like 2 glimpses of being, the old Cam Newton. You're like, oh, maybe he's back. Oh, wait, never mind. He's actually still Cam Newton.
He's such a conundrum. Like, I just don't know. He's like almost like you could put him on the side of a milk carton at this point. He's lost.
He's gone. Well, let's move on. Browns and Raiders. What was the wind in that game? It was 30 plus miles per hour.
Yeah, they said it was like gusting 30 or 35 plus at times. Like Carlson came out for
field
that
goal.
first field goal, and I was so confident in that. I got up, literally, he kicked it, and I walked away to go to the bathroom, and then I heard Jordan and Dad yelling from the front room. I could not believe. I mean, he put that thing, he pointed it at the right post.
He went right. He kicked it far right, trying to play the wind, and the wind fucking took it clear across.
And then it was
insane.
At one point, I saw they were talking about that it wasn't quite hail or snow. It wasn't sleet. They brought up the technical term for it because they were bringing it up on Twitter. It was grapple, I believe, is what it is called. So it was grappling at one point during this game.
What is that? Like a frozen mush that falls out of the sky?
I got my iPad. I'll look it up. Hang on. Because it's like it was doing it here too. Because right before the game, we had like a little bit of hail. Soft hail or snow pellets is precipitation that forms when supercooled water droplets are collected and freeze on falling snowflakes. Holy shit. So that means raindrops literally hit snowflakes and then they fall to the ground.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's
not
not quite snow, not quite hail, not quite sleet. It's just something it's gross.
It's a mixture of all things.
And that concludes our science corner for the week. But no, so
welcome to all the rage meteorology.
Yeah. It was just kind of nasty weather. And to be honest, like the Browns should have been a little bit closer in this game, but the Jarvis Landry touchdown getting called back. We also had a touchdown that got called back, which is fucking bullshit. Ruggs was in. You could see fucking green in between his toe and the white. And they're like inconclusive, incomplete. We're like, fuck you. But yeah, and we got it back because they called Jarvis Landry. They said he didn't maintain control. And then Hunter Renfrow crossed the goal line and touched the ground with the ball. Same exact thing Jarvis Landry did. And because the NFL hates Cleveland, apparently, they were like, touchdown. Yep. They gave it to us. So yeah, we played okay, but it's just a lot of what I really want to talk about is if we're ever going to get our franchise right tackle back, because now after he got off the COVID list, he apparently wasn't feeling that great pregame, but was still going to try and play. They went to give him an IV, and one of the team trainers had managed to somehow administer air into his bloodstream, which, as if any of you know anything about that, it's very, very deadly, can kill you in an instant. And me and Jesse were talking about, that kills most people. The only thing I can think of
every fucking movie assassin, that's how they kill people. If they're in a hospital, let me just go inject some air into this IV, and heart attack, you're dead. Okay, cool.
Yep, that's how it goes. And the only reason we can fathom is Trent Brown is 6'8" and 380 pounds. And we could basically
just thought it was acid indigestion.
You'd almost have to do like the scene in Space Jam where they blow up Wayne Knight when he's flattened on the fucking basketball court. You would almost need that much air because he's that big to probably kill him. So, but honestly, that's scary. Thank God he's okay. I just don't.
Yeah.
Between Tyrod getting stuck in the lung and this, just.
Dude, what the hell's up with team doctors this year? They just.
Well, I just thought it was the Chargers, and then this happens. And I was like, what the fuck? Why?
Why are we on that? Why are we involved in this bullshit?
Yeah, why did we sign? Did we recruit somebody from? Why would you sign a lot? Like, if I was a high school and this guy showed up to an interview and was like, I have a lot of team. I'd be really impressed when he was talking about he had experience with an NFL team, and he's like, yeah, I was the head doctor for the Los Angeles Chargers. And be like, get
out. Please leave and lock the door.
You're like, don't come back. You're not welcome here. I will call the cops.
Well, let's look at the Raiders here. Week 9 playing the Chargers. I feel like that's a good win for you guys. We'll get to the Chargers later on today. Broncos, another interdivision. You got 3 division games. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. So Broncos after that, and then the Chiefs. Now, you got one from the Chiefs this year.
Yes.
This one is in the Death Star.
Yes.
Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is not going to come in there fucking pissed?
I do.
I was going to say, do you think you could squeak out 2?
you add Le'Veon Bell to the mix, and you bring in an entire team that obviously, they were riding high. They were the cream of the crop of the AFC, and the Raiders beating them. People started looking at the Raiders a little bit more seriously, and as soon as you take a team like the Chiefs with as many competitors and as great as Kelsey and Mahomes and all of them are, and then you start going, oh, or are they all that in the media? They're going to come out pissed.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about that game.
Well, but
Much as you had a good feeling about the first meet, I have a bad feeling about this meet.
I will say this is not anything that the Raiders don't know. We should have, hopefully, Trent Brown back by then. We're getting a lot of guys off of IR. Hopefully we stay healthy. And we already got him once. This is going to be a point of pride. This is the first time the Chiefs have ever seen the inside of that stadium. And the Raiders are going to want to make them leave with a bad taste in their mouth and, really, really hate that place.
Yep, absolutely.
But
that's the goal.
That's really one. I do have not a good feeling about it, but I feel like you can't call. Hate to keep bringing up the election, but it's almost like we're waiting on Nevada.
Yeah. I would not be betting on that game because I wouldn't be surprised if they put like a 0.5 point spread on that or something.
Me and Dad both cashed in big time when they played them the first time because they were heavy underdogs. But this time at home, they're not going to be underdogs. And I wouldn't be confident.
That's going to be a tough game. There's 3 divisional games. You have the Falcons, who are faltered, the Jets, the Colts, which have been a very, very good team this year, Chargers again, Dolphins, Broncos. You don't have a tremendously hard schedule from here on out, and especially even if you went 1-1 with the Chiefs, that is a win.
Yes.
That's an interdivisional rival, and that is 100% a win. So I'm seeing, take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say 6 more wins. I think I could confidently say 6. And you guys are currently 4-3. I could see it being a nice 10-6.
Yeah, and I mean that'd be I feel like that's a comfortable wild card spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Especially we thought the Browns would maybe be tickling up there a little bit. I feel like now that we hold the tiebreaker over them, maybe not as much. I'm going to say I really realistically I could see us dropping. I'll say the Chiefs game and the Colts game. Other than that, I really don't see a lot of roadblocks.
The only one I threw in there too was a surprise, like either the Falcons or a divisional rival, like the Broncos come into town or something and beat you without you expecting it. Or Herbert throws for 4 touchdowns in one of those games and they hang on to a lead. So I could see one of those divisional rivals coming through.
I could, but knock on wood, I think the talent gap is there enough. And past years, we got to quit talking about the Raiders, but it was just like a lot of bad coaching, I feel like. And not to say Gruden's absolutely the best, but he's good enough that he'll have these guys prepared. I could see maybe 1 divisional loss, but I really feel like 2 losses at the most going out, 3, the rest of the year. So 10-6, 11-5, which we'll be in hopefully.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to let's look at the Browns real quick on their remaining schedule. They have the bye week this week. Play the Titans, Eagles, Jags, Texans, Eagles, Jags, Titans, Ravens, Giants, Jets, Steelers. Oh, in the year against the Steelers. Whew. That's going to be painful. All right, so let's see here. So I could see them probably losing to the Texans. They're going to beat the Eagles, beat the Jags, lose to the Titans. So we got 1, 2. Lose to the Ravens, beat the Giants 3, beat the Jets 4, and lose to the Steelers. I don't think they have a rough patch coming up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to see this team's going to be 9-7.
Yep. I would see 9-7 or 8-8.
Yeah.
They'll be hovering around 500 just because, and Uncle Lonnie, don't hate me, but I feel like the Jets game scares me just because the Browns have been better this year, but I feel like there's got to be one last game almost where they just got almost like shake it out of their pant leg. You know what I mean? Where that's just like, okay, we got to blow one more game and then we'll just go into next year. We'll just cleanse ourselves of this.
Well, here's the thing. So look at it this way. That Jets game is a very good candidate for a trap game. Because say this Browns team knocks off one extra win in there. Maybe they are currently at 8-9 wins coming into, let's say 8 wins coming into week 16. They got to be able to beat the Steelers in week 17 to make it in. That'll give them to 10 wins if they win this Jets game and the Steelers. That is a good trap game if they're looking too far into the future there.
Exactly.
And then
with that being the end of the year, and I hate to say it, I'm sorry, but just with playoff implications on the line, they could be very much in the hunt at that point. I feel like a little bit of a rough patch, but they do have a couple easier games in there. I feel like we could easily see something where they're really in it about week 16, and all they got to do is get through the Jets, and then all of a sudden, here come the fucking Jets. Just absolutely rip their heart out. I hope it doesn't happen. Well, if it's us or them in the playoffs, I do hope.
Well, you have 7 teams this year, so there's definitely a lot more room for that.
Yes.
But yeah, that I could totally see that happening. So yeah, my prediction then is 9-7. That might be good enough to make a wild card team, but I don't know if I don't think so.
Well, you can pretty much. Let's think about that real quick. If you wanted to pencil in, so the Bills are
going to take their division.
See, here's the thing that I don't know with the Raiders. If we beat the Chiefs both times, even though we have a worse record, if we go undefeated in our division, do we still?
You would have to have a better overall record or tying.
Tying record, okay.
So if you guys both tied on record, which I don't see the Chiefs losing that many games, unfortunately. No. But if you tied and you had both head-to-head matchups won, you would win that tiebreaker instantly. Even if you had the worst divisional record, you still would win that tiebreaker because you have the head-to-head matchup wins. So I believe that's how it works, if I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't entire. I couldn't exactly remember on that, but so basically, if you think about it, so in the wild card, you could essentially pencil in the Ravens because I don't think they can, unless the Steelers slide. I think the Ravens will probably be your first wild card team, and you can feel free to press the bias button on me on this. But with everything we just discussed, I feel like the Raiders are probably the second team in.
See, I don't see that. There's the Titans and the Colts, both at, I believe, 5-2 right now. I could see one of them being the second and you guys being the third. Is the way I'm looking at it.
I wouldn't. My only thing is I'm just wondering, like we were talking about earlier, I believe in the Titans pulling it together. But my thing also is
and we'll get to the Colts and Titans.
If we're going to see... Yeah, we did just talk about the Titans. We talked about them at length. But, yeah, one of them will win the division, obviously, but basically what I'm getting at is you're either going to see the Colts, they're not for real, and they're going to fall off, or you're going to see the Titans go on a big losing streak after this and slide heavily, is what I'm getting at. I don't feel as much. I feel like you're going to see a team there that is either they're going to win the division or they're going to be another Browns where they're like 8-8, 9-7. You know what I mean? But they could also easily be in play.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of that, let's move on to the next game, the Colts and the Lions. So the Colts ended up just throwing down 40 on these suckers. The Lions, is Patricia number 1 on the list right now? I believe that's the case.
No, because Adam Gase still has a job.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Adam Gase still has a job.
But we talked about it. Yeah,
It's so dumb. I
I
just don't
believe the
believe it.
last time we talked, I was bringing up my hand graph.
Yeah,
We
it's
said
pretty
there
good.
was a wide gap, and Adam Gase was up here. Now we're sort of back to here-ish.
Yeah,
like
there was
we're
like that one or two. Like he keeps like losing a game, then winning one, and
and
then
the way
losing a game.
and who was it they beat? What was it? Week 6 that we last time we would
It
have
was the
talked about.
Falcons, I believe, because
No, it wasn't.
Gurley
Oh yeah, it
wasn't
was the
supposed to
Falcons
score the
game.
touchdown, and he did.
Yes.
And then
That's
the
right.
Titans went down and scored, or the Lions went down and scored.
So not albeit that impressive of a win, but I mean a win nonetheless.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gap is once again tightened between those two. But Adam Gase absolutely shouldn't have a fucking job. I don't know how he's still employed.
No way, no how. Let's look ahead to week 9, or let's look ahead to the schedule for the Colts here. They got the Ravens in week 9. I don't feel good about that. Interdivision game with the Titans. That's going to be good. I have a tough time picking that one. Then the Packers, then the Titans. Jesus, that's a rough schedule. And then Texans, Raiders, Texans, Steelers, Jags. Jesus, this Colts team has a rough schedule. So now that I'm seeing this, you might be right on what you're saying there, being the second team in there.
Yeah.
With the Colts maybe making it in.
Yes.
Because I don't see them beating the Texans or the Titans. I mean, I don't know what it is. I think the Titans are the better team in those cases.
And
they may go 1-1.
Like I just said, one of these teams is going to be the top dog, and one of these teams is going to go on a slide. And guess what? We'll find out next week in week 10 because they play each other. So that'll probably set, like you said, have we talked about the Titans schedule yet?
No, we talked about the game, but we'll go back to the Titans and Bengals real quick after we get through this game here.
But yeah, the Colts have a fucking rough stretch, so we're going to see if they can pull it together and Rivers really has his team behind him and he's gelled, or they're going to be fucked.
See, I don't think they can beat the Packers. I think they'll go 1-1 with the Titans. So there's one win. They'll beat the Texans 2. The Raiders game is going to be a good one. That one's tough for me to pick. This Raiders team's that fucking team this year that's like, they really could beat anyone, but they also could lose to anyone. So it's like
they gotta show up. Yeah,
it's hard to.
I like I said, that was one of the games when we were picking the Raiders schedule. I could see the Colts beating them. That could be a loss for us.
So and then Texans again, Steelers. I don't see them. Although that would be a good game. I don't see them losing there. Jags, I see them winning. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more wins, putting them at 10-6. I think that's actually a little bit heavy. It's definitely that's optimistic view, honestly. I think. Yeah. At 10-6.
Well, and we'll call the 10-6. We'll call that a swing game, basically, because the Raider game could go either way. There's a couple of games that they could drop there where they could, there's a 2-game swing there where they could be 9-7 or 7-9.
Yeah,
really.
Optimistically, 10-6, they make the playoffs and as a wild card. Pessimistically, 7-9.
Yeah,
and lose the division horribly, and Titans roll away with the title. Let's look at the Lions on that one. So the Lions are pretty much out of playoff contention, I think, at this point.
Yeah, so we can just
Vikings, Washington, Carolina, Texans, Bears, Packers, Titans, Bucks, Vikings. Don't think they beat the Vikings. Don't think they beat the Bucks, the Titans, the Packers. Hell, they may not be able to beat the Bears.
Or the Washington
football team. Yeah, I'm seeing maybe 3 wins in their future. Maybe. And that's going to put them at a solid 6-10. I could totally see that being the case.
That's generous. So I'll give them 5-11.
All right. Let's go back here to the Bengals and the Texans, because we talked about the game, but we didn't talk about their future schedule.
You keep doing that. It's the Titans, not the Texans.
Yeah, why do I keep doing that? Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know.
I don't either. All right, so Titans. They play the Bears. The Bears are the worst The Bears are the worst winning record team in the league. The Chargers are the best losing record team in the league. This is
Yeah.
the way I look at it.
Well, the Chargers have just lost so many close games. They are what the Bears could be at this point.
Yes,
They
they're
can't.
just that one play away from being what the Bears are. So Bears, I think they're going to win that one. The Colts, that one's going to be a tough one, but I think they can come out with that. Let's see. Ravens, I don't think they have the defense. Well, they might. That's a tough one to call. That one's going to be a good game because both of
Yeah.
them are all rush. That game may be over in like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, that's easily one that could be a knockdown, drag out fight, or somebody's like putting in the warm up or the backups by like 8 minutes in the fourth.
Yeah. Like it says it's Sunday at noon, which I find that for some reason it's going Central Time because they're in Central Time. So yeah, it's a 1:00 game. I feel like that game's gonna be over at 3:00.
Probably, yeah.
Because of
You'll
all
be
it's
able to
nonstop
call that
rushing.
one early.
Yeah. The Colts, the Browns, the Jags, Lions, Packers, Texans. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's give them 6 more wins. 11-5. Let's say, you know what? Optimistic. 12-4 is what I'm going to say for the Titans there. Win the division.
I'll say 11-5 or 10-6, and still at either one of those, I feel like they're the division winners.
All right.
Either way.
Bengals losing record. They're going to be out of the playoffs. This is just going to be pride. They got the Steelers in week 10. Washington, Giants, Dolphins, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Ravens. Honestly, this schedule does look favorable for them. I could see them beating the Cowboys, Dolphins, Giants, maybe the Washington football team.
Yeah, I could see 4 wins.
There's 4 there. They might be able to beat the Texans. They ain't beating the Ravens or the Steelers this year. That's going to be years to come when Ben's gone.
I don't know. If they beat the Titans,
that's true. That's fair. We're
see
playing them late in the year, so this is going to be like optimum Bengals, where they've been at it.
That's why I'm. That will be a game I will be curious to watch late in the year because that could easily be like I was talking earlier about Josh Allen trying to go out and put a stamp on, Ben, you're too old, blah blah blah. Joe Burrow, especially it's interdivisional. He's gonna come out and he's gonna want that so damn bad.
Mm-hmm. But the Steelers' defense notoriously has been horrible to rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, you do have that correct.
I think they'll be good games, and all the AFC North games are fucking good, no matter who you're playing, who's playing in the damn games. But yeah, I could see this team possibly breaking 7 wins. There's a good possibility of that.
Yeah. And like we talked about, it's not like they've been horrible. They've been in pretty much every game they've played, and the ones they've lost. So, yeah, I'll say 6-10 just to be.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best of the guesses on that one. Is 6. Well, it would be 6, 9, and 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot the tie. Sorry.
All right, so let's move on. We did talk about the Raiders and Browns. We talked about the Vikings and the Packers. So I saw the greatest meme in the world that just described this game so well. It was just Aaron Rodgers doing that smirk, and it was, that's a nice lead you have there, Vikings. It'd be a shame if somebody were to, and then like zoom in on him, and then boom, him getting hit from behind, the ball flying out of his hand. Fantastic.
How the hell did that happen?
This Packers team has so many weird moments. They either dominate you or they completely suck. There's no in between. If they lose, they fucking lose. If they win, they fucking win. There's not a like in between at all with them. So, I mean, I definitely see good things coming from them, but I think it's really funny that, and that's why you can never last week had so many interdivision games, and that's why there were so many upsets. You can never judge a divisional game accurately
Nope.
because they bring so much more to the table when they play a divisional rival. So Packers currently in second quarter, up 7-3 on the Niners. This poor Niners team, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, Packers are on the 10-yard line, about to punch one in. I feel like.
So let's look at the Packers rest of the season schedule. I think they win tonight. I don't really think there's any question on that one, just because of how depleted that Niners team is. They're playing with backups right now all over the place. I think the only team that's more depleted than them is maybe the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, the poor fucking Cowboys.
Yeah. So I think they win tonight. They have the Jags, they have the Colts, Bears, Eagles, Lions, Panthers, Titans, and Bears. So let's do a little breakdown here. They win tonight. I think they win against the Jags. There's 2. Wouldn't be surprised if they slip to the Colts. And then maybe that one slip to the Bears. Wouldn't be surprised in that case either. Beat the Eagles, beat the Lions, beat the Panthers. Maybe the Titans can knock them off. I'm seeing 12-4.
Yeah.
Packers team is a good team. They need to get everybody healthy, but I'm saying 12-4 win the division.
Yep, they'll maybe. I think they'll lose maybe 2 more the whole way out. So 12.
Yeah, I could see the possibility of them like going on a hot streak and dropping 13-3, but 12-4 I think is the safest, most accurate way to describe this team.
Yep.
This Vikings team that I had a lot of faith in, thinking that they were going to be good this year. In fact, I think my pre-season pick for the Super Bowl was the Vikings. So I'm kind of upset at myself now. But we got Lions, Bears.
Take a long look in the mirror tonight before you go to bed.
That was my way too early pick, so come on. Lions, Bears, Cowboys, Panthers, Jags, Bucks, Bears, Saints, and the Lions. Not going to beat the Saints. Not going to beat the Bucks. Not going to beat the Bears. Not going to beat. Ugh. They may not be able to beat the Lions. They may not be able to beat the Panthers. I don't know. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. We'll say 4 from here on out. I think that brings them to a solid 6-10. Yep. Yeah, so 6-10 is what my prediction is for that Vikings team. I could totally see that happening. They could even falter even worse and drop to fucking 4 wins.
Yeah, I don't see it. Pop quiz. Did you know Mercedes Lewis is still in the league?
Wait, is he still in the Packers?
Yes, and he just got a touchdown pass. They're 14-3 Packers.
I wonder what the fucking odds were for him to catch a touchdown.
I don't even want to know.
It was probably like 1,200 or something.
It was probably like 120 to 1. I'm not even guaranteeing it was probably something like that.
Yeah.
Christ.
All right, and so that's the Packers and Vikings. We move to the Chiefs and Jets. The Chiefs and Jets. Oh, this just came across my screen. The Raiders have been fined $500,000 and lose a 6th-round pick for repeated violation of COVID-19 protocols.
Of course.
That just got notified mid-episode.
Why don't I just fire up the old tweeter to go see what the fuck that's about?
Yep, there you go. So let's move on to Chiefs and Jets. There's really not anything to talk about besides that. I think the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns in that game, which was kind of cool. Let's take a look at the Chiefs record. And do we even want to look at the Jets? All right, let's see. All right, so we have Panthers bye, Raiders, Bucks, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, Falcons, Chargers. So I'm saying 13-3 for this Chiefs team. I'm going to see them losing against the Bucks, and it's either going to be the Saints or the Raiders. And then I'm seeing a 13-3 first round bye in the playoffs type of thing.
Yep, probably. Yeah, 500,000 more dollars. They fined Gruden another 150K and took a 6th-rounder from us next year for COVID violations because they said Gruden hasn't worn a mask. They said the players attended a large indoor gathering, which was, of course, Darren Waller's fucking charity event. Christ, they're so stupid. Team allowed an unauthorized person into its locker room after a game. I haven't heard that one. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but just Raider things. I'm not surprised.
Yep, that's going to hurt. And maybe all the other fucking teams in the league will wake up and realize, oh, we should probably follow these protocols. But, we'll see. Jets play the Patriots, Chargers, Dolphins, Raiders, Seahawks, Rams, Browns, and Patriots. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if one of those Patriot games they win, but this team's probably at best maybe getting 2 wins. Maybe sneaking out that Browns game and maybe beating the Patriots once.
That's it. I don't even see a Patriots win. I really don't.
I wouldn't be surprised if this team only had one, if any. Yeah. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at all. They're that bad. Rams and Dolphins. Tua gets his first win, although Tua didn't do anything in that game to get the win. He threw one touchdown that was a 1-yard pass. He threw for like 93 yards. It was mainly the special teams and defense that won that game. I was not a fan of them starting him now. I just
did not look good at all.
No. And now you won that game, but at what cost? Now you've dropped the morale of the team by taking away Fitzpatrick, who had this team like on fire, who was playing lights out baseball, lights out football, and you pull the rug out underneath them. And like, I don't know, morally, I think it just drained that team. I'm surprised they played as well as they did, but I don't see good things for them in the future, personally. I think that was just a classless move. I get you want to get the rookie in there, but the way they were going, I think they lacked a little bit in class in that one.
Yeah, Christ, what a shit show! What an absolute
yeah. For a second I thought Adam Gase was still the coach over there.
He is. Or no, wait, we're talking about the Dolphins shit. Yeah, you totally. I actually went back in time there for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, that was honestly the most Adam Gase move they could have made.
It really was.
Take out Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, they had me tripped out there for a second. Why would you? I mean, and obviously you've seen the history with Fitzpatrick as he fizzles after 6 or 7 games. So I feel like maybe
they were trying to catch it before it happened.
Like I said, I keep bringing this up to people. This is the Ryan Fitzpatrick year, baby. They're going to sneak in because Tua is going to struggle a couple of games. And like we said, he doesn't play well after like week 8, week 9. They're saving him. This is a strategy. They're just saving Fitzpatrick for the back end of the year.
Okay. All right. I can see it. It. All right. So the Cardinals, Chargers, Broncos, Jets, Bengals, Chiefs, Patriots, Raiders, Bills. That's the rest of the Dolphins schedule. So I do not see them beating the Cardinals. They can beat the Chargers. They can beat the Broncos. They can beat the Jets. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to the Bengals. Definitely losing to the Chiefs.
Yep.
Honestly, I think they'll take down the Patriots. But I think they lose to the Raiders and Bills. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins on top of what they got right now at a whopping 4-3. 8-8 it is for the Dolphins.
Yep.
And let's look at the Rams schedule here. Boop, 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 boop. All right. We got a week 9 bye. We have the Seahawks, Bucks, Niners. Ooh. Seahawks, Bucks, Niners, and Cardinals. Jesus, what a bad stretch. I think they'll beat the Niners. The Niners will squeak out victories here and there, and I don't know how they'll fucking do it because they're playing with like the janitor up in sea level, but that's about what they got right now. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Jets. I don't think they beat the Seahawks, although they are the bane of the Seahawks' existence. They usually do go at
Always
least
have
1-1.
Yeah.
And then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 5, maybe 6 more wins. They could be a 10-6 team. They could.
I foresee too many. They're too inconsistent.
Yes.
I foresee Kevin Robinson 8-8 team.
Okay. I can dig that though. I can 100% agree with you on that too. I think optimistically 10-6, realistically 8-8. There you go. Yep. I like it. Saints and Bears went to overtime. This Saints team just does not look the same. They're 5-2, which is still good, but God, did they not look the same without Michael Thomas?
Nope.
It's so bad, and that game was just so bad. Like the Bears looked horrible. Aikman was calling for Trubisky at one point in that game. That's how bad it was.
Let me break it down for you. It was Bears 23, Alvin Kamara 26. Basically, was that game. The Saints lived and died through Alvin Kamara. If it weren't for him, they would be fucked on a stick.
Yeah, that Breeze does not look like Breeze of old and past.
No.
I think this may be his last year. I think he's realizing that now.
I hate to say it. I think we're seeing a future Hall of Famer ride off into the sunset. Maybe not in the way we wanted to see it, but I hate to agree with you. I think he maybe comes back because this year has been a little lackluster. He gives it one more go around next year. But
yeah, that's about all I could see him doing, and he'd either come out next year with a vengeance or he would fizzle partway through the year, and you see Taysom Hill play some games, a la the Brock Osweiler, Peyton Manning season with the Broncos.
No, Taysom Hill, man, he's gonna light the world on fire,
dude. I am so excited when Breeze does retire and they actually start playing Taysom Hill as the starting quarterback throughout. Like the fact that this man lines up as tight end and blocks,
it's just gonna be
runs a route and then returns a punt.
It's such a wild card. You just never know what you're gonna get with the fucking guy, and especially when he's running the damn. You know, if he's running the offense, what are they gonna?
Yeah, and here's the thing: I've never really actually dug into. Where the fuck is Taysom Hill on fantasy football? Because he should have listed beside him quarterback, running back, wide receiver,
flex, defense, special teams.
Yeah, like he honestly should have every position. And if that's the case, I want him on my team in my flex slot like nonstop because he's probably going to get a touchdown at some point.
I want the ability to start Taysom Hill as my kicker.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I want. Because there will come a day where Will Lutz
pulls a hammy.
Like Taysom Hill scores 2 touchdowns and kicks 5 field goals.
I feel like Sean Payton made Taysom Hill in a lab somewhere years ago.
I don't know, like he's okay, but just the fascination that Peyton and like all these other like talking heads in the media and around the league have, and I'm like, what's all the hype about? What's everybody so worked up about? But everybody talks about him like he is, like you said, it is kind of like a Brock Osweiler thing where everybody's like, oh, just wait for the next best thing. He's going to be the greatest, and it's going to be like. He retired.
I mean, that very well could be it too, because you see him for moments. Nobody's game planned against his passing. Nobody's game planned against, him running the offense and calling a no huddle. So who knows what that's actually going to be like? He's been a flash play type of guy since he's got there. So
you boil down the best components of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and you throw them into somebody, boom, Taysom Hill.
there you go.
Especially like you said, you really don't have a lot of film. Like from what I've seen, he's not a great passer. Like he's not terribly accurate, but I feel like that's something they're probably working with him a lot on. And being underneath Drew Brees, that's not a terrible person to be behind.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, that's if he comes out and it's like it could be really fucking scary. Everybody's making jokes like me, and all of a sudden the dude comes out and he's just throwing darts. It's like Mahomes, Oops. Allen, Hill,
right? So yeah, the Saints have an interesting schedule coming. They play the Bucs this week, which I think honestly, Brady's going to get his revenge and get the win here. They play the Niners. There's a win. The Falcons a win. Broncos a win. Falcons a win. Eagles a win. Chiefs a loss. Vikings a win. And then the Panthers. They maybe lose another interdivision. Yeah, this team's optimistically looking at 12-4. Because you're going to get Michael Thomas back soon.
I'll go 10-6 with them dropping their last two.
Okay. All right. I can feel it. Bears, on the other hand, I'm waiting for this team to hit its wall. They've lost 2 in a row now. They go Titans, Vikings, bye week. Packers, Lions, Texans, Vikings, Jags, Packers. So they're not going to beat the Packers. They're probably going to go 1-1 with the Vikings. I could see them losing to the Titans. So let's go
they'll lose the Titans
2,
game.
3.
Jags 4. Game might be a trap game.
I mean, honestly, I'm looking at them maybe winning 4 more games. 9-7.
Yeah.
This team is not a good team, and I don't know how they've made it this far. But Foles has like one drive a game where he looks like Super Bowl MVP, and then he has 5 drives in between that where he looks like Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Well, that's just the theory with them is the Bears are just like, okay, we just have to get Nick Foles to the playoffs. That's all we got to do, and then he'll just take over from there.
All right, let's move on. Seahawks beating the Niners. Like I said, this Niners team, I feel so bad for them. Like I just feel bad for them. The poor guys have had so much talent on that roster that just dwindled due to injuries and stupidity. And then the Seahawks team, DK Metcalf is the new Megatron.
Nope.
I still don't understand how you don't think that.
I was sort of starting to see that until, I don't know if you saw the tweet, but it was Darius Butler put it on Twitter. It was like, until you see this, don't ever compare them.
And it was awesome. And yeah, okay, yes, I agree. You can't call him Megatron yet, but he is the next closest thing.
I won't, but there's still and this isn't, I don't mean this, since DK Metcalf's probably out there listening. I don't want to disparage him, but because he's a great player. He's a generational talent, but there is still a wide enough gap there just because Calvin Johnson was just an absolute fucking freak of nature.
You literally had to focus at least minimum 3 people on him at all times.
I think it was Charles James was like, he was a corner for the Texans. He was like, we played the Lions my rookie year, and I lined up across from Megatron and damn near cried. He was like, I didn't know God made humans like that.
Yeah. And do you remember who drafted him and what was the pick they drafted him at? Was it 1? No, it was number 2. Who was number 1? Oh, that's right, Jamarcus Russell. That's right. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't recall.
Let's move on to the Seahawks rest
What
of
a
their
fucking
schedule.
low blow. Fuck you.
Couldn't help myself. You know I love my Calvin Johnson, and every single time I bring him up, I got to bring that up to you. He could have been a Raider.
Wouldn't have mattered. We would have ruined him.
Well, the Lions ruined him, so either way, he was
It's true.
fucked. So let's look at the Seahawks schedule. They got the Bills this week, which is going to be a fucking great game. Honestly, I could see it either way. I'm not going to touch that game with a bet because I'd be too scared of it. The Rams after that, the Cardinals. So there's 3 solid games right in the middle of the year here. Rams always give them trouble. The Bills are just been awesome this year, and the Cardinals just beat them. So that's nuts. Eagles, Giants, Jets, Washington, and then Rams again. So there's 4 wins right in the middle of that. The Rams and then end the year at the Niners. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Maybe.
7? Maybe 7?
They'll go
At 13-3?
Yeah.
I could see them doing it. I think they're going to falter one against the Rams, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Cardinals managed to take them down again. But I don't see them losing much of those other games except for maybe the Niners game at the end of the year because they may have already made the playoffs and they set Russell for the second half or something crazy like that. And then the Niners are playing for pride at that point. So yeah, I'm saying 13-3.
I won't disagree.
Optimistically.
Valdez Scantling just caught a bomb with minute 53 left in the half. It's 21-3 Packers. It's not looking good for the Niners.
No, it's not. Speaking of which, let's look at their future schedule here. Playing the Packers, which doesn't look like they're going to win that game. Saints, I don't think they're winning that. They're going into their bye. Rams, Bills, Washington. They'll beat Washington. They'll beat the Cowboys. Probably lose to the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So I'm saying maybe 2 more wins the rest of the season for this guy, just because you don't have Kittle, you don't have Garoppolo, you don't have Debo for a little while.
They're just too beat up. They can't overcome.
Yeah, it's going to be a 6-10 team at this point.
Yeah.
This is the downhill slope for them. They're very well coached. It's just you can't win when that many starters are out.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're doing the best they can. But I mean,
they're trying to make chicken sandwich or chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Chicken shit. Yep, that's exactly right.
All right, let's move on to the Cowboys and Eagles. Both are garbage teams. The Eagles are somehow probably going to win the division. Yeah, that's exactly what that division is right there.
It's called because it's a shallow pool. That's why.
Yeah. So I honestly would not be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys didn't win another game this season.
I don't know. They're basically Mike McCarthy's going with the college football strategy where we're not going to tell you who our starter is until, game time. Because, in honesty, it's not because he doesn't want to tell you. It's because they don't fucking know.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't have a clue.
They're like, oh, God, which one of these guys are we going to send out there to get murdered and memed to death?
They're probably going to get destroyed by the Steelers. They play the Vikings, Washington, Ravens, Bengals, Niners, Eagles, Giants. I'm having a really hard time making a case for anyone. Maybe Washington, maybe Bengals, maybe Giants. At best, this team is 3-13.
Yeah, I was going to say wrong way.
Yeah, sorry. I had it backwards there.
Yeah, like I said, this is something we were talking about earlier. I don't know if we were talking about the show where with Dak being hurt, I could easily see this becoming a scenario that the Cowboys are so bad that after this year they go, well, Dak, you're damaged goods. See you later. And the Cowboys are going to be it. They're going to be top five in contention for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. So we were discussing that. I said that Jerry Jones should be begging Dak to take whatever like he gives him. He'll always say, "How much money do you want, Dak?" And Dak says 50 mil, and he says, "How about 52?" Like that's what he should be saying at this point, because it's obvious that Dak was the only reason this team had any kind of winning potential. You sign Andy Dalton, and I think it's concussion protocol right now.
Yeah.
So he'll be back, but he did not look good in those 2.5 games he played.
No.
So that was not gonna successful. Like I heard so many Dallas fans saying, like, just put Andy Dalton in. That's what we want. Yeah, it got you somewhere. Believe me, we played Andy Dalton for fucking 12 years or whatever the fuck it was, and he sucked. So this team is bottom feeding. I feel bad for Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and all that talent on that roster.
I don't feel bad for Amari, but other than
that. Yes. But I could see either one of our situations happening. Either he's going to pay him and, just keep building a discount defense, or he's going to say, see you later, go test the market and draft the Trevor Lawrence. I think your option is the more likely one.
And that's terrible because, Dak doesn't deserve that.
And then Dak to the Jets.
God, no. Why would you wish that upon him? Christ. Do you not like him that much? Holy shit.
No, but I just feel like that'll be the team that goes, oh, we'll give you a shit ton of money. And then Gaze will sit you on the bench and say you have a hamstring injury.
Jack, even in his right mind, will be like, no, I'm not doing it.
Please, for the love of God, no.
Jets. He'll sooner retire than he'll play for the Jets, I feel like.
Let's look at the Eagles. Oh, excuse me. They play the Giants, the Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, Cowboys, and Washington. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 more wins for them. I think this is quite possibly a division that's going to be won by a losing record team.
Yep. I could easily
7, 8, 7, and 1, I guess is what it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so it technically wouldn't.
No, 7, 8, and 1.
Yeah, it would be 7, 8, and 1. And that's exactly what I see them at. That is, you could if I could bet on that and put the nail on the head right there, that will be their record. Guarantee it.
Yep. I concur. All right, Steelers and Ravens. That was a tale of two halves in that game. The Steelers did not play well in the first half. Besides the pick six, they couldn't get anything going on offense. Ravens ran it all over the Steelers, the best rushing defense in the league, and they got slaughtered on the ground. Now, a lot of that was the read option game. You saw early, they found out that they weren't going to be able to do that read option game on TJ's side because TJ was not falling for it. He was going right for Lamar no matter what, every time, full speed, forcing Lamar to hand it off and then sending the running back up the gut. Then they realized that Bud Dupree was not as decisive, and they started running to his side. And then Bud Dupree would hesitate, then Lamar would burst it out to the outside. Or Bud Dupree would go after the running back, and Lamar would be gone. So they stopped running on TJ's side because TJ was like, I'm not going to try to read you. I'm going right for Lamar every time, no matter what you do. If you're going to try to hand it off, and I will count on the rest of my defense to pick up the running back, which is the right way to play it if you're going to have that dynamic of a quarterback and running back there's really no better way to play it than that. Depend on everybody else, force the play in the inside, depend on that good D line. So they shit on him in that first half. The second half came out, and the Steelers put together 3 touchdown drives, a lot of which Ben even said that they were playing like backyard football at that point, where he was just calling plays and no huddle and just making shit up and going. So that was kind of neat. But they did win that game, a great divisional win at M&T Bank Stadium, which that was the biggest part of that. I think had this not been COVID, to where there was only 6,000 fans or something like that in there.
Yeah, real small amount.
Yeah, if there had been a full stadium, Ravens would have won that game. And
just riding on the momentum from the first half, like you said, there wouldn't have been a second half. It would have been
there wouldn't have been. And you wouldn't have been able to do that no huddle backyard football type of BS that Ben was able to do, because you wouldn't have been able to hear yourself think.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to call out the audibles. I've been in that stadium, and it gets very, very loud.
Yes. So get out your button here, because I'm looking at the Steelers' rest of their schedule. 7-0 Cowboys.
Don't say 16-0. Just don't say 16-0.
They play the Cowboys. They play the Bengals. They play the Jaguars. They play the Ravens at home. They play Washington football team. They play the Bills, the Bengals, the Colts, the Browns. I would not be surprised if this was 15-1 to 14-2 at this point. I don't think we're losing to the Browns. I don't think we're losing either game to the Bengals. I think we take the Ravens at home. We're not losing to the Cowboys. We're not losing to the Jags. The Bills, the Colts game are really the two I'm looking at.
That's what I was going to say. Let's pump the brakes on 15-1. I think.
Yeah, I know.
Let me. I
just want to relive Ben's rookie season.
But yeah, I could see them easily. Best case 14-2. Worst case
12-4.
Yeah, 13-3, 12-4, and that's assuming, like you've been talking about, the Ravens come back and get them at home and kind of return the favor.
Yes. Which I could see being a thing, because that has happened in the past. I could see maybe them slipping up and losing against the Bills. I could see maybe them slipping up and losing against the Colts. Now, I also thought that they weren't going to beat I wasn't sure they were going to beat the Titans or the Ravens. So those were the big two teams and I really thought was scared of the Browns game, because I thought that was going to be one of those trapped games. So, yeah.
Well, what I will say is the Browns game, as it always is, since you guys blew them out and it wasn't even close the first time, the second half of the year is always a little bit chippier. So you got to kind of watch out for that game too, I feel.
And that's the week 17, which could have Mason Rudolph in there.
They won't do it. They'll put out Dobbs. They'll have to send Josh Dobbs out on the field.
They definitely should. At this point, I think Dobbs is the better choice for the backup.
Well, it's not even that. It's just they can't. Like Mason Rudolph's going to be like, he's going to be like trying to snap.
He's going to have PTSD about it.
It's going to be like Bobby Boucher is lined up across from him. Like he's going to be scared to fuck.
All right, let's take a look at the Ravens, rest of their schedule. Colts, Patriots, Titans, Steelers, Cowboys, Browns, Jags, Giants, Bengals. So I'm under a very odd impression that by the time they play the Bengals again in week 17, the Bengals are going to squeak that one out. I have a weird feeling on that one, because I think that they're going to be more focused on the playoffs at that point. I think Burrow is going to be like, you know what? I want to make sure this division knows I'm in here, and I could totally see them beating them.
I could see it, but that's also one of those ones. It's always so hard to call the games out towards the end of the year, just because you don't know who's going to be like
the situations that are going to be happening.
It's going to be like, okay, this team can still make up. They could be the 6th seed, or they could be the 1st or they could win their division or blah blah blah. And this team has nothing to win. They can sit their starters, and you just never fucking know what's going
Yeah,
to go wrong.
exactly. Um, I think that the Colts are going to put up a good fight against them, but I think they win that. They win the Patriots. I think the Titans can beat them. I think the Steelers beat them again. So I'm looking at what, three, maybe four, 12-4, because they are 5-2. I can see 12-4, 11-5 for this team.
Yeah, this is one of those things where really it hinges on the second Steeler game. I could see them going 13-3 if they get hot. If they win the right games, they might only lose one more the rest of the year. Like you said, they could drop, two or three more. It really just
Yeah,
depends.
that's right.
It really just depends on what Lamar Jackson you get.
Yeah, if Lamar Jackson still is allergic to throwing the ball, then you might still have that. So let's get to the last two games of this week. Chargers and Broncos. Broncos won that game way late. Chargers let another lead go by. Like I've said, this is the Chargers are the best worst team. They have lost by double digits or been winning by double digits in the last, I think, 5 weeks and only won one of those games.
Yes.
So it's bad for them. I feel bad for Herbert because he is doing everything he can to win those games, and it's just not happening.
The Chargers are first.
Yeah, they really friggin' are. So let's take a look here at the rest of the Chargers schedule. I don't think they're going to have a fun time. I think they lose against the Raiders. I think they can beat the Dolphins, the Jets, lose against the Bills, maybe win against the Patriots. There's 3. Falcons possibly 4. Lose against the Raiders, lose against the Broncos, lose against the Chiefs. So maybe 4 more wins, bringing them to a whopping 6-10. I think optimistically the best situation for this team is 7-9.
Yep. Then that is top shelf. That is as good as it gets for them.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
1, 2, 5, 3, 7.
3, sir. 3.
All right, let's look at the Broncos. Got the Falcons, Raiders, Dolphins, Saints, Chiefs, Panthers, Bills, Chargers, Raiders. Oof. Realistically here, maybe they'll beat the Dolphins. Maybe they'll beat Atlanta. Maybe they'll beat Carolina. Maybe they'll beat one of those Charger games. 4 more wins.
Yeah, we'll go 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, but another 7-9.
Yep.
Type of look.
Yep, right around there, middle of the road type
deal. Yep. Last game of the week was the Bucks and Giants. Bucks, I think, got out to an early start and then kind of dwindled at the end. Giants actually kind of almost made it a game. I feel bad for this Giants team too. There's a lot of teams I feel bad for this year that had potential to do something, but like one injury just completely derailed everything, or that the just bad luck in general has derailed things. So let's look at the Giants schedule here. They have Washington, Eagles. Honestly, I could see them losing both those. Bengals, Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Cowboys. I think they beat the Cowboys. Maybe they beat the Washington Redskins, or Washington football team. Oh, hey, you're looking at my chest.
Yeah, I was like, why am I looking at your leg? Things are getting weird.
And then maybe like the Browns or something they sneak out. But yeah, they're probably a whopping 3-win team. Maybe. At best. It's hard when you lose Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, they're God bless them. They're really doing everything they can, but no.
You feel bad for Danny Dimes.
Like I said, another top 5 draft pick team.
Yep. Bucks get Antonio Brown for week 9.
Fuck them.
That fucking bastards. Okay, there.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Saints, Panthers, Rams, Chiefs, bye week, Vikings, Falcons, Lions, Falcons. So I think they lose against the Chiefs. Maybe they lose against the Rams or something. Honestly, this team probably is going to be pretty close to winning out and going 13-3.
Yep, I wouldn't. It would disgust me to no end, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I can tell you that.
Yep. And then the only teams we didn't talk about schedule-wise are Cardinals, Washington, Jags, and Texans. Honestly, I don't really care too much about talking about the Jags and Texans because they're both 1-6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably, I don't need to look at the schedule to say they're probably a 3 to 4 win team.
Yep.
Same with the Washington football team. They may be a 4-win team at best.
Yeah.
Cardinals are about the only one I wouldn't mind looking at because they could be a good wild card team here. So let's take a look. We got the bye week in week 8. So they are playing the Dolphins this week. Bills, Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, Giants, Eagles, Niners, Rams. So I feel like they go 1-1 with the Rams, beat the Niners, beat the Eagles, beat the Giants. Patriots lose against the Seahawks and Bills, maybe beat the Dolphins. So let's say 1, 2, 3,
6 more wins.
Yeah, I say 3 or 4 more losses. You're looking at 11-5. That's pretty strong for them. I think that's a good optimistic goal there.
I can see it.
Yep. All right, so let's move on here. You want to touch a little about golf? Go ahead and do that, and I'll get our picks up here and prepared, and then we'll lead into that after that.
Yeah, really not much to talk about this week. Playing at the Houston Open, like I was talking to you earlier, pretty cool because they're playing a public municipal course, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Do you think these places, like obviously they're going to Augusta next week, you kind of think these places are just otherworldly and untouchable, so it is kind of cool to see these guys play at some place you go, play in your beer league with your buddies. So yeah. I'm sure it's obviously a little bit nicer than your average place if they're playing it for a tour event, but I mean, it's got to be pretty laid back. So that's nice. Tony Finau, Dustin Johnson, both back after having the COVID. Brooks Koepka's back after resting his knee. Not really a whole lot to talk about as far as the first round. I believe it was Scotty Scheffler, Cam Davis, and Harold Varner III all tied at like 3 under, I think. So the course is playing a little tough. It'll just be an interesting thing to watch. I'm not watching other than just I kind of want to see how some guys are looking going into obviously next week being the most. We normally get the most glorious week of the year. It's not Christmas. It's not anything else. It doesn't normally come in November. It's in April, folks. And that is Masters Week. It is nearly here, folks. Our national holiday as golfers is very, very nearly upon us. I'm counting it down like a kid to Christmas. And I'm so fucking ready for it. Like I told Jesse, we're going to do a little bit more research and talk a little bit more in depth about that next week. But yeah, just all I would say is if you wanted to bet, I would say go throw some money. Find the best odds you can find on Scotty Scheffler right now, because he'll probably at some point during this weekend he'll either completely fall apart and he'll be out of it and miss the cut tomorrow, or he'll win the fucking thing. There's absolutely no in between. But yeah, he's another young kid that doesn't really get mentioned. It's in that class with Morikawa and Matthew Wolff and all those younger guys. He's around the same age, but he's kind of came up a little bit differently. I don't think he came through like the college ranks as much as those guys did. I think he was playing like the mini tours and the Corn Ferry Tour. So not nearly talked about as much, but he's a good talent. And yeah, we're just, as Bill Belichick would say, we're on to Georgia.
There you go. All right, so let's get through these picks for this week. Obviously, we both picked the Packers for this game, which looks like we're going to be good there. And I believe the favorite was the Packers pretty heavily also. Let's look at our 1 o'clocks, Broncos and Falcons. Broncos actually have won 3 of the last 4 games. I just don't believe in them. I'm still going with the Falcons on this. I think this offense will start producing. I just don't know how many more wins they will be producing.
Yeah.
So I'm still going with the Falcons on that one. What do you think?
Falcons in the dome, big time.
There you go. And then we have the Seahawks and the Bills. A friggin' wild game this is going to be. Fun fact: Russell Wilson is 9-1 career against the AFC East, and I bet you that one is the Patriots.
I think I remember which game that was. If we're talking about it.
Yes. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks on this one. I feel like the Bills have proven they need to be talked about in this, but the Seahawks have been here. They have more of the veteran leadership. They have, I don't know. I just feel like they know how to get through that type of rough schedule.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. As much as I think the Bills, and like I said, I love how Josh Allen comes out and plays with a chip on his shoulder and is constantly he's just an absolute madman. You just running all over the place, putting his body on the line and making some like throwing some absolute fucking bombs. But I can't bring myself to take the Bills. I'll take the Seahawks.
Ravens and Colts, 1:00 game. Actually, this is weird. I didn't know this. Colts are 6-0 at home versus Baltimore all time. So the team that used to be the Baltimore has never lost against the new Baltimore team.
The Baltimore Colts are 6-0 against the Baltimore Ravens, essentially, is what we're talking about. Yeah.
So that's ironic. I actually did not know that. I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one. I feel like it's all going to be about the run game, obviously, because it's the Ravens. And I feel like they're going to outrun the Colts in this, even though Phillip Rivers will probably throw the ball all over the place.
Well, that's the thing is I think the Ravens defense is good enough and the pass rush gets there and frustrates Rivers a little bit. And they're kind of having a little bit of running back carousel. They really don't know what to do with Jonathan Taylor at this moment. And, who's their number one back? I'm going to also have to go with the Ravens with this.
Texans and Jaguars, the game that doesn't mean a thing. I'm going to go with the Texans just because I think out of both these piles of crap, the Texans are the better looking.
Well, who are the Jags starting at quarterback this week? Jake Luton or Lutton? How do you say it? They're hopeless. Texans by a mile.
Panthers and Chiefs. That actually would be a good game. Fun fact. Chiefs are 16-1 in the last 17 games, including the playoffs, and that one was the Raiders. So the Chiefs just put up. The Chiefs don't really lose to bad teams. It doesn't happen very often to them, so it's got to be the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah, no contest. Chiefs by a million.
By a million. Lions and Vikings, another two kind of mundane teams playing. I think the Vikings are the better team, especially since Stafford is going to be out. So I think that one's kind of just a gimme for the Vikings. What do you think there?
Yeah, that one's easy. Unfortunately, with Stafford being out, that's a Vikings win.
Titans and the Bears. This is actually a clash of two, 5-win teams. Titans have lost 2 in a row. Steelers and Bengals, both AFC North teams. The Bears just lost to the Saints. Haven't looked really particularly well. I think this is where the Titans start to do their bounce back and start rolling again because this Bears team is kind of dismal.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but I think it takes I don't see the Titans bouncing back for some reason in my head until next week. I feel like the Bears frustrate them a little bit, and then next week they get the ball rolling.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bears.
Interesting. I like it. Giants and Washington football team. The Giants actually have won 4 straight games against Washington. Obviously, that was back when Saquon was actually still able or had an ACL. So it's tough to pick this one. But you know what? let's just roll the dice and go with Danny Dimes in this one.
Yep, hard to argue against that. I'm going with the Giants.
Too bad.
That's, you may as well just flip a coin.
Yeah. Raiders and Chargers. I think this is going to be one of those things. Herbert has looked fantastic, but this team does not hold on to leads. I think their Chargers start out strong, just as per usual, and the Raiders come back. I think that's just how it's going to be. I'm going with the Raiders on this one.
Well, I think the Raiders win, but I don't think there's going to be a comeback because the Raiders aren't really. Well, we're not really. I find myself having a hard time saying we're not a team that can't be explosive at times because holy shit, we saw that in the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
But it's not obviously the game plan. But I think Bosa's still out with a concussion. I think we'll just rookie quarterback. They'll figure out a way to get in his head and frustrate him just enough. We'll get the win.
Yep. Dolphins at the Cardinals. I think this is another good Kyler Murray outing. Kind of showed Tua how it is. Tua did not look good in that first game, even with the bye week in between the game of practice. So I think Cardinals come out here pretty handily.
Yeah, I find myself having a hard time understanding why it's Tua time. Kyler Murray is going to welcome him to the league. Cardinals win big.
Yep. Steelers and Cowboys at Cowboys Stadium. This is we can move on from that. Yep. Steelers and that. Saints and Bucks. This is going to be a great game. I think Brady gets his win over Breeze in this one. They keep just going back and forth with the record right now, just handing off to each other. So this is actually kind of like a crazy year to see that both leading passers are in the same division for all time. It's pretty crazy. So, but yeah, I'm thinking the Bucks get their win in this one. The defense has definitely improved as the year's gone on, and so has Brady.
Yep, and like you said, will Michael Thomas be back? Will he punch his teammate? Will the never-ending saga? Tune in next week to Days of Our New Orleans Saints, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I have a hard time. Other than Breeze playing for pride and, like you said, the record, basically that they're all just tossing back and forth to each other. I gotta go with the Bucks. I don't see a Saints win.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, if Michael Thomas comes back, if Michael Thomas was here for this game, then I would probably say the Saints. Being that he's not, I can't. Patriots and Jets, I don't really think I have much to talk about, although it would be hilarious to see the Jets win this. I think that Patriots, I think that's the one thing Belichick won't let happen.
Yep, they might have a bad year this year, but they won't lose to the Jets.
No. On the bye week is the Rams, Bengals, the Eagles, and the Browns. That's your picks. I'll have those posted for you. Any final thoughts from you, Jace?
The Niners look like shit. Other than that, looks like Rodgers is about to take a minute. It's going to be 28-3 here in a minute, or at the very least, probably 24-3.
Beautiful.
Yep. So if you have any 49er friends, which you probably don't, just maybe send them a text.
Yeah, reach out.
Yeah, check in on them.
Also, I just want to reiterate that I did put the picks that we did place before the games in. Right now, the overall standing is 81 wins for me, 77 wins for Jace. And then the actual favorites this season are 71 wins. Now, that is also with Andy, I think, the first 2 weeks. Yeah. But yeah, 71 wins for the favorites since they added Andy's wins in there. So, yeah, not looking good for the favorites. A lot of underdogs this year.
Yeah, not at all.
So, as for that, always, go to our Facebook, give us a like. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to our Transistor host site. You can find us on Spotify and iTunes. On our webpage at Webley, or All the Rage Sports at Webley.com, and donate to our PayPal. Basically, see us wherever you can find your own wherever you find podcasts. So, if you have any input you want to add to it, please feel free to hit us up on Facebook, on our webpage, at our email. We'd love to hear from you. Other than that, you guys all have a great day, and remember, rage on.
Rage on.